ladies and gentlemen, we have more autistic Star Wars YouTuber drama, okay? It just doesn't end. And I'm going to keep covering it because they get a lot of views. I'm not ashamed to admit it, okay? I'm a little piggy. I'm a little piggy rolling around in the dirt going oink, oink, oink. Give me all the drama. I'll go. I love it. I love it, okay? And guess what? You're one too. You clicked on the video, so you're not above it either. So let's get into it. So apparently, so there's this Forbes article. I have not read it yet, but Star Wars Theory, he was molding on Twitter because apparently this article it makes fun of him or something, or it calls him out or something. So we're going to read this article. Then we're going to react to the Star Wars Theory video, where I guess he goes over it. Then, okay, this is a 3-act structure, guys. Then we're going to go on to Twitter, where the drama continued to ensue. So buckle in, buckle up, whatever, and let's get into it. All right, so it says, Disney just do Star Wars The Clone Wars in live action with Ewan and Hayden. Me personally, I don't want to see that. I'm going to be completely honest. That's like, there were enough episodes of that show. There were enough. I don't need any more of them. But also, I'm curious to see what this says about Star Wars Theory, because I'm pretty sure, from everything that I know about Star Wars Theory, I think he would also want this, because like Star Wars Theory, if you don't know anything about him, he like permanently has George Lucas's cock like lodged straight into his throat. That's why it's kind of hard to understand him sometimes in his videos. So I assume he would want this. So I'm curious to see what pot shots get thrown at him. It is clear that best friends Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor are itching to get back to Star Wars. Here's Christensen speaking to Variety about a return. If it means that I got to do more with Ewan, then that's a no-brainer. But I really hope that he continues with the character. And as for continuing with that character, here's McGregor. I really do hope we get a chance to do another one. Between where we ended off in the series and when Alec Guinness comes on screen with Luke Skywalker, I think there's another few stories to tell in there. I mean, if we're being honest, like, neither of their careers are exactly popping off. Although I will say there's that rumor that Ewan McGregor might play Hal Jordan in the DCU, so that could be interesting, but like none of their careers are exactly popping off at the moment, so I would imagine that they would be more than eager to come back to these roles. However, I want to pull the handbrake there, as I don't think that making more stories that take place after Obi-Wan Kenobi and before A New Hope is a good idea. Obi-Wan Kenobi was fine, but not amazing, and jamming in more stories there would create some level of a stretch to find something valuable. And get Hayden back in there somehow without being under a Vader helmet the whole time. I mean, that's true. Like we really are getting to the meme where like you get to where you get to A New Hope and they'll have to like rewrite that line where Obi-Wan is like Darth Vader, or what is it? Is like Anakin Skywalker. That's a name I haven't heard in 2 weeks since we last met. They are getting dangerously close to just like having the reunion of Darth Vader and Obi-Wan in A New Hope mean virtually nothing. So I kind of tend to agree that, I mean, I guess they could do more Obi-Wan content, but they should not do more Obi-Wan content where he's interacting with Darth Vader. Like, they just should not do that. So just do live action Clone Wars. At some point, or at this point, who cares? That is also that's a very good point. Literally, who cares about Star Wars at this point? Just let them do it. This feels like this is where everything is leading anyway, with Dave Filoni porting as many characters from that and Rebels as he can into live action. So this seems like a potentially good project. That's especially true because Disney seems allergic to truly original ideas outside the Skywalker era, and, well, Anakin Skywalker is more Skywalker. I mean, well, they tried with with the Acolyte, so that happened, and I mean, I will say, I really hope the lesson that they take from the Acolyte isn't that they shouldn't continue to molest the Skywalkers and just continue using them as much as possible, because it's like the one of the few redeeming factors of the Acolyte was that we didn't hear the word Skywalker, or Darth Vader didn't make a stupid cameo. Like that was like one of the few redeeming qualities of the Acolyte, was that it did admittedly feel fresh. The problem is that you still have to be good. That's the thing that the Acolyte sort of ran into. So I mean, I hope that's not the lesson that Disney takes from that. No, they wouldn't have to relive the entire series, which ran from 2008 to a final season in 2020 and spanned close to 150 episodes. Jesus Christ, those are too many episodes. Okay, by the way, just so that you know, just so that I could explain myself, a few years ago, I did like a binge watch marathon where I watched like all of Star Wars in chronological order. And so I watched like The Phantom Menace. What's the second one called? Attack of the Clones? I think that's the second one. And then I binged all of the Clone Wars in order to finally get to, what's the third one called? What is it? The Sad Boy Vader Hours movie? I don't remember what the third one is called. But I like watching all of the Clone Wars and binging all of it. It was just too much, in my opinion. Because too much of it was just not good. It's like the Clone Wars is just like a shit ton of mid to bad episodes with like a few like 3-episode arcs that are actually halfway decent. Like if you're ever going to watch the Clone Wars, look up a guide that just tells you the important episodic arcs to watch and just watch those, because most of that show just isn't worth watching. Anyways, my beef with the Clone Wars aside. No, they wouldn't. Where did I leave off? Whatever. No, they wouldn't have to relive the entire series, which ran from 2008 to a final season in 2020 and spanned close to 150 episodes. But there are certainly a number of hugely memorable arcs in there that could be adapted for TV. And there's a reason Star Wars fans love the show, because it's good. And one aspect of that is because it presented a more dimensional version of Anakin that we never got to see in the films. I don't know how I feel about this, because it's like one of the things that you're supposed to sort of accept about Star Wars is that the Clone Wars is canon. So unless you were to like one-to-one adapt it into live action and just say that both of these are canon, I don't think you can necessarily get away with like adapting it to live action and then just like weirdly either retconning a few episodes of the Clone Wars or decanonizing the clone. I don't know. This seems too confusing to work. Like if you were to ever make live action Clone Wars era content, it would I think it would have to be content that isn't already episodes of the Clone Wars. It would have to be new content. But I don't know. We'll see. Or I don't think we'll ever see this, to be clear. We have already seen this once in live action, briefly with Clone Wars era's Hayden Anakin appearing to Ahsoka, who was rendered in Clone Wars era age in what was the most popular episode of the first season of that show. And that leads to the idea that yes, all of these pieces are already in place. Are Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen older than they're supposed to be for a show like this? Yes, who cares? We can get over that, and we know those two would be on board. I mean, they'll do the stupid de-aging stuff, which I kind of hate, but whatever. Past that, you already have the co-star of the series, young Ahsoka, who could clearly still be played by the talented Ariana Greenblatt, who played her in that one episode. She's 17 now, around the perfect age for the part. You also have Tamora Morrison around to play Rex and the other clones, as they are definitely not having him do another season of Boba Fett, which he seems sad about, but this would be a killer role for him. Again, it seems beyond easy to lay the pieces for this. A question for Disney would be budget, as they are allergic to figuring out how to do shows like this for anything less than $150 million a season, as it seems. But Ewan and Hayden back with young Ahsoka, recreating some of the most beloved arcs in Star Wars history. That would be huge. Just let them do it. Okay, interesting. Maybe he deleted them after their beef or whatever. But I see no references to Star Wars theory in this article. I don't know. So we'll have to read or we'll watch Star Wars Theory's videos and we'll see exactly what was going on with that. Oh, also, I think I finished reading the article without showing it on the screen, but who cares? All right, let's get into it.
And herein lies the conversation I had with Hayden, one part of it, where I was like, man, you know, they just need to make the whole Clone Wars with you.
Fulfill your destiny. TheorySabers.com.
Wait, I wonder if, is he gonna like say that, is he gonna say that he like stole this idea from Star Wars Theory or something? Is that the angle that that they're gonna take from this? I don't know. I'm just wondering if that's something that he's gonna like allege or something. I don't know.
So here's something pretty funny. Forbes just posted this article. Disney just do Star Wars: The Clone Wars in live action with you and Hayden. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be freaking awesome. And that was something actually I had a conversation with Hayden Christensen in private about, which I can talk about in this video as well. But it's written by Paul Tassi. I don't even know who this nobody was until I started to see that he was writing a lot of shit about me and just having horrible takes when it came.
Okay, so it's a different article. Never mind. Okay, let's see what he's written in the past. Sorry, I'm going back to see if there's something else that he said.
Was until I started to see that he was.
The Acolyte has caused Star Wars fandom to plunge into civil war. I mean, that's just true.
Writing a lot of shit about.
The YouTuber side of this has escalated thanks to Star Wars Theory, the largest Star Wars fan channel on the internet, who has been the frequent centerpiece of what is viewed as the toxic part of the fandom. Theory also constantly bashed the Acolyte with the usual "it's the bad writing and breaks canon" claims, though it's a long pattern of him moving on from a focused Star Wars lore discussion to lambasting much of what Disney has produced. I mean, is that possibly... I mean, the problem with this is that it might be like passive aggressiveness here, but I don't think that there's necessarily anything in that first paragraph that's like wrong, because like whether it's true or not, he is viewed as the toxic part of the fandom. Like that is how people view him as, at least some people. In Theory also constantly bashed the Acolyte, which is true. I mean, Star Wars Theory, from what I understand, did do that. Believe he said it was bad. It had bad writing, and he said that it broke canon. Even though, from what I understand, I don't think it actually did end up breaking canon, but I think that is something that he claimed. And now this might not be true. It says it's a long pattern of him moving on from focused Star Wars lore discussion to lambasting much of what Disney has produced. I mean, I don't know. Is that true? Let's just take a look at his channel. This guy again. Yeah, this is like, a lot of this is drama stuff. I mean, this isn't necessarily lambasting. More drama stuff. More drama stuff. More drama stuff. I don't know if this is, I mean, this is just him playing Star Wars Outlaws. This is him talking about the Acolyte. This is getting worse. Disney deletes the Acolyte merch. The Acolyte cancellation backlash. Boba Fett canceled. The Acolyte canceled. We won. This is him doing his lightsaber stuff. It's cool. I'm assuming him criticizing Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is true that there isn't a ton of lore discussion here, I guess. I don't know if that's what his channel used to be about. And that now it is more just him doing like criticisms of Star Wars. But even then, like, to be clear, like that might all be true, but it's also not really a bad thing, to be clear. But you know. Anyways, the second paragraph says, Theory went off on social media saying that things had crossed a line by trying to get these channels demonetized, which goes after people's livelihoods. He just released a video calling out another channel, Star Wars Explained, who had signed on to the demonetization movement, a video which got extremely personal, reviewing his private communications with the channel's owner in the past. I mean, that's the thing. Okay, so just based on what he's showing here, like, is it possible that this is like the guy being like passive aggressive? Sure, but I don't know that any of this is like untrue. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see what else he shows.
About me. And just having horrible takes when it came to...
Amanda Stenberg meltdown over the Acolyte canceled response. This was an incredibly calm and thoughtful response from her, and the furthest thing from a meltdown. Too gross. I mean, I kind of agree. I mean, I don't think it was a thoughtful response, but I mean, it was calm for the most part. And I wouldn't call it a meltdown. Is this comment gross? Or is this tweet gross? I don't necessarily think it is. So I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle on this one because I don't necessarily think that Amanda Steinberg's. I don't think her video was a meltdown. I think that. I just disagreed with a lot of what she had to say. So, I don't know.
Me as a person, and the things that I actually would not say, but he would spin it as if I said them. This guy is a weirdo. He's like some sort of a writer.
Well, I hope I'm just saying, based on everything that you've shown so far, I don't know if he's necessarily said anything about you so far that is just like blatantly not true. I don't know.
I guess writer for Forbes.
He hit him with the quote, writer. Oh, he said he's not a real white writer. Oh my God, he got him. Oh.
Circle, because I'm making this because it's like, yeah, this is a cool thing that we should get. I think it would be awesome. I think Disney would make a lot of profits from it, and fans would love to see this, of course. But also, it's funny because this guy is always ripping on me. I guess that's how he gets some sort of clout. But he's literally just ripping.
Oh, he said he's going for the clout. Oh my God, whoa.
On my idea. We saw that episode of...
Okay, I mean, what do you mean he's ripping on your idea? Is that... No offense, bro, but...
Hold them to their grave!
Suggesting that they should do live-action Clone Wars, I'm pretty sure that's something that, like, literally thousands of, prequel Star Wars fans have suggested. I don't know that you can necessarily claim that.
We saw that episode of Hayden of Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars with young Ahsoka in the Ahsoka show. And I made a tweet. And I remember when I
hopefully Disney realizes Anakin Skywalker is the coolest character in all of Star Wars and what fans want to see the most of. Oh, and he'll make them the most money of any/all other character project shows combined. Do it, Disney. Anakin and young Ahsoka Clone Wars live action. I just don't care. I got enough of that. I'm sorry, but I got enough of that in the Clone Wars. I don't need to see that in live action. But I mean, I think it would probably be successful, to be fair.
Posted, I said, like, it would be awesome if we could get Hayden Christensen in a Clone Wars live action with Ahsoka, you know, the same actress who played the young Ahsoka. I forgot her name. She was great. She was phenomenal. And we get Ewan, and we get all the Jedi again. And essentially the Clone Wars, but like stories that we maybe haven't been told in the animated form, or maybe stories that, we have been, but they do it from...
See, he's taking my ideas now. Can I claim that? Can I claim that he's stealing my idea?
New angle or whatever, but in live action with Hayden. I think that would be amazing. And now this freaking guy who is always using my name is literally just taking that when people were ripping on me for it, being like,
what? Bro, this. Okay, so far we're only a minute in. By the way, why didn't I put this in 2x speed? Okay, what do you think? I got all day over here. Anyways, this is a cringe video so far. Like, nothing in the article directly calls him out. Like, saying that you should do a live action Clone Wars thing. Like, I'm sorry, guy, but like, this isn't some fucking 5-head, like, oh, holy shit, what an innovative idea. Oh my God, I can't believe they didn't think, like, I don't think you can claim this idea.
we already got that in the Clone Wars in animated form. And I'm like, do you guys not want to see more Hayden Christensen? Like, what's wrong with you people?
Yes,
I don't actually. Not because of Hayden Christensen. I just don't need to see any more of Darth Vader. Like, Like, I'm sorry, but they've just driven Darth Vader into the ground. Like, I am at the point where anytime I see Darth Vader show up in a thing, like, I literally feel nothing. Spoiler alert, I guess, but he briefly shows up in Star Wars Outlaws, and it's like a technically cool scene. He does something cool. I just don't give a shit. I just don't. I personally didn't give a shit when they showed up in Ahsoka. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, if they make it and it's just a good show, then I'm not going to, like, sit here and with my arms crossed being like, but it's like, do I have any innate desire to see more of Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker? I don't. But, you know, I understand that that's obviously, like, his favorite character or whatever, so I get it.
Like a separatist.
Remember years ago when I had Hayden behind me as a cardboard cutout, people were just like, oh, you only talk about Star Wars, you only talk about the prequel trilogy, you only talk about Hayden Christensen and Anakin, and now everybody and their mama is all about Hayden. It's like, oh, yeah, well, maybe because he's the coolest character and he's a great actor. Let's read what this writer, Paul Tassi, has to say. You guys getting major clout.
Dude, this is a little bit of an unhinged video so far. I'm not going to lie.
Up today.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
It's clear that best friends Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor are itching.
What?
What this writer, Paul Tassi, has to say. You guys getting major clout today.
Here comes the money.
Dude, this is so cringe. Why are you like... This is so cringe. Oh my god. Ugh. I gotta say, okay, I gotta call out Star Wars Theory here a little bit, because in all of his videos about, like, Star Wars Explained, he's constantly talking about how he doesn't care about the fame, he doesn't care about the money. All he cares about is talking about, like, you know, Star Wars because he's passionate about it, yada, yada, yada. And now he's reading this Forbes article, which I get it if he has beef with the guy. I mean, that's fair. But, like, he's reading this article, and now he's, like Lil broing him. He's saying that, oh, well, now because Star Wars Theory, is reading your article, now you're going to get some clout. It's like, you're kind of being a little bit of a clout goblin here, Star Wars Theory. You're not exactly living up to, like, what you said you were all about in the Star Wars Explained videos. Just, I feel like, listen, I gotta call it like I see it.
Here we go.
It's clear that best friends Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor are itching to get back to Star Wars. Here's Christensen speaking to Variety about a return. If it means that I got to do more with Ewan, then that's a no-brainer, but I really hope that he continues with the character. And as far as continuing with that character, here's McGregor. I really do hope we get a chance to do another one. Between where we ended off in the series and when Alec Guinness comes on screen with Luke Skywalker, I think there's another few stories to tell in there. However, I want to pull the handbrake there, as I don't think the making more stories that take place after Obi-Wan Kenobi and before New Hope is a good idea. Why not, Paul Tassi? Obi-Wan Kenobi was fine. Chill, dude. You can tell.
What?
He just hated that show, but he's paid to say otherwise.
Time to bring me.
Bro, what the So, it's just not possible to not hate a show? Just because you think Obi-Wan is fine? Like, it's impossible to hold that opinion? Like, I don't understand where people get this idea. So, people think that Disney is paying people not to say that a show is good. Not to say that it's great or amazing. But, like, people are getting paychecks just to be like, yeah, the show's fine, I guess. Why would Disney pay people to say that? Bro, if I was paying somebody money, they're fucking sitting down and they're guzzling buckets of cum from my show. You know, they're praising to the heavens about how amazing my show is if I'm paying them off. Like, what? Like, what are we talking about here? What?
It was shit. Obi-Wan Kenobi show was absolutely horrible. It was written by somebody who doesn't understand Star Wars. Joby Harold, I mean, who is this guy? And Deborah Chow? What is with the shaky cam? I mean, that's not even, like, the first problem. There were so many problems with that show, but the only highlight was getting Hayden and Ewan back. That was it. Jimmy Smits as well. But Hayden and Ewan, I mean, they utilized them both like dog shit. They wrote the characters horribly. I don't think they've ever even watched Star Wars, and if they did, they must have been on, like, 50 grams of shrooms or something, because they were just in some other dimension. Obi-Wan Kenobi was fine, but not amazing, and jamming in more stories.
That's, like, a totally reasonable assertion. I mean, I don't... This is literally just, like, unhinged, like, you have different opinion than me, but I experienced a piece of art the way that I experienced it. It's not possible for you to have experienced it in a different way. Like, dude, what the fuck are you, like, chill?
There would create some level of a stretch to find something valuable and get Hayden back in there somehow without being under a Vader helmet the whole time. No, Paul, you see, if you actually watch Star Wars, maybe watch some of my videos, you see there is a plethora of different theories and what ifs on situations that could take place between episode 3 and 4. In fact, I'm spending over $1 million to make a fan film about such.
but like, is it like specifically after where Obi-Wan left off? Because like, sure, there might be a bunch of stuff that you could do in between episode 3 and episode 4, but I think he's saying specifically from where Obi-Wan left off. Like, I don't know. Maybe he does, but
Such situation between 3 and 4, where Vader fights Mace Windu and comes back, and there's a reason that both of them need each other. It's gonna be pretty compelling. I'm sure you're gonna write about.
hold on. Sure, Darth Vader might be able to fight Mace Windu, but is he meeting up with Obi-Wan? Because I think that's where Paul Tassie's coming from. Hold on. Let me just make sure. However, I want to pull the handbrake there, as I don't think that making more stories that take place after Obi-Wan Kenobi and before A New Hope is a good idea. Okay, well, actually, hold on. To be fair, the way that that's written, I mean, that is what he's saying. I feel like he's talking about specifically Obi-Wan and Vader storylines where they're like meeting up together. Like, I understand that that's what he wrote, and it's fair enough if you want to attack him that way, but I don't think he literally means that you just shouldn't tell any stories after Obi-Wan but before New Hope. Because, like, that doesn't really make any sense. Obviously, you could tell stories with different characters. Like, Rogue One exists, right? So, I don't know. But to be fair, that is what he wrote there. So, I mean, you know what I mean.
To find something valuable and get Hayden back in there somehow without being under a Vader helmet the whole time. No, Paul, you see, if you actually watch Star Wars or maybe watch some of my videos, you see there is a plethora of different theories and what-ifs on situations that could take place between episode 3 and 4. In fact, I'm spending over $1 million to make a fan film about such situation between 3 and 4, where Vader fights Mace Windu and comes back, and there's a reason that both of them need each other. It's going to be pretty compelling. I'm sure you're going to write about it, but maybe not. We'll see. Dude, that's from my script. Yeah, look, there's tons of stories.
I'm sorry, but this is just coming off a little unhinged, where he's like, my thing is gonna be really good, and you better write about it, or else you're a meanie, you're a big meanie if you don't write about my fan film. It's like, bro, can you calm down? This is like I'm sorry, like Star Wars Theory is just coming off like an asshole here. I'm just being honest.
That they could do and they could adapt into live action. I think starting with the Clone Wars and even just doing the episodes that we've had before but in live action, I mean, who wouldn't want to see that? I think that'd be phenomenal. I think we all.
I think my point still stands where it's like unless you literally did like a beat for beat recreation of them, but like if you were to adapt them and then make certain changes some here and there because you're taking like 25-minute episodes into like adapting them to like 45-minute episodes, and then like making story changes because maybe this fits better in live action, or maybe this like action scene that they did is too expensive to do in live action. Like I feel like it just gets messy to where it's like I don't ever want to be in a situation where you have like an animated thing and a live action thing, and we're having to like decide which one of them is canon and what parts of each one are canon. That just sounds too confusing. I don't know. To me.
all want more Clone Wars episodes, so I'm sure we all want more real live-action episodes as well. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, there's tons of things we could do in that timeline. I mean, what they did with Kenobi was utter nonsense, for sure. If they want to go a little before that, they could as well, and if they want to go after that, they could as well. I mean, we don't have to have Obi-Wan leaving the planet. Read the novel, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you'll have a perfect script of exactly what Obi-Wan could be doing in this time. I mean, he was communing with Qui-Gon, okay? He was blaming himself for everything that went down. The way he found out that Vader was alive was in a cantina, on a hologram, because he overheard the Empire. He overheard people talking about it. That's how he heard that Vader was alive. Nobody knew that Vader was Anakin, right? Nobody was supposed to know, and that the whole Reva revealing that, bullshit. Really bad writing, and in such a monumental moment as well. So just do live-action Clone Wars. At this point, who cares? Just let them do it. At this point, Paul Tassi just revealed his true intentions and feelings. At what point, Paul? At what point?
What?
Isn't this guy always like, just ripping apart?
Wait, what? What is he talking about? Like, what is he trying to say with that? Yeah, at this point, nobody, like, at this point, Star Wars is so just, like, whatever that nobody cares, really. I mean, that's just true. I don't even know what he's trying to imply here.
And feelings? At what point, Paul? At what point? Oh, shit. Isn't this guy always like, just ripping apart my tweets and like putting words in my mouth? I mean, the guy only gets engagement whenever he talks about me. And I mean, I understand it's lucrative. You're all about the views and the monies.
What does this have to do with you? Wait, what? What does this have to do with you? What?
On them now. What are you talking about, bro? Just be real. Like, at this point, at what point? The point that Star Wars is so broken that Disney's destroying it because they can't find a competent writer that actually cares about Star Wars enough to tell the story that George started without having to interject their own politics and agendas and views and bullshit in there, instead of just telling a good story and a good narrative about characters that are cool, you know? And it makes sense.
By the way, I mean, I'm gonna keep on beating this drum and repeating it. Can somebody tell me what the politics of the Acolyte are? Can somebody tell me what the injected politics in that show is? Because there really aren't any. Like, like people will bring up like, oh, the lesbian space witches, they're injecting the LGBTQ agenda. It's like, bitch, there were like 2 of those witches that were like kind of sort of alluded as being in a lesbianic relationship, even though it was never confirmed. It was just like kind of hinted at. Like none of the other witches ever did anything lesbianic. Like there wasn't any hot lesbian witch sex, unfortunately. So I don't even know what the fuck people are talking about when they bring up like the lesbian space witch thing. And then the only other thing is that I guess the cast is diverse. Is that political now? I guess it is, but like, is that a bad thing? like this is the one thing that I will say when it comes to like culture war stuff, is that it is unfortunate that shows or movies that have like diverse casts or that have like female leads or whatever, they're not allowed to just be bad. Like The Acolyte isn't allowed to just be a bad show. It has to be some big like statement on diversity and inclusion and whatever, when it's like, can't women also have bad content? Like a Madam Web is another one. Like Madam Web is not political. It's just a bad movie. But when Madam Web comes out, it's like, wow, female leads, they're injecting their politics into it, yada yada yada. And then you have like you had that like report, I think in Variety or something, where like apparently Sony executives they were like, I don't know if we can still move forward with this Silk show. I don't know if people want like comic books movies with female leads. And it's like it reminds me of when Elektra and Catwoman came out, and there was like a refusal for like any kind of accountability, where it's like, maybe like instead of them coming to the conclusion of, maybe we just made like 2 of the worst movies of all time. It's like, no, it must be that people just don't want female leads in their comic book movies. It's just like a similar thing is happening now with like audiences, where it's like The Acolyte comes out and it's bad. And it's like, it can't just be a bad show that's poorly written. It has to be that, they injected their politics into it. It's like, what are the politics? Diverse cast, lesbian space witches, even though they weren't actually shown to be lesbians. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, like it's just a bad show. Like, what are you talking about? Because I'm not saying that these things haven't existed in the past. Like I remember the Supergirl show on the CW. Like, that show was very political. Like they were injecting a feminist agenda into that show, and it is very blatant, very in your face. It's a center point of the plot. It's like, that show is very political. If you want to say that the feminist themes in that show are like overpowering or whatever, I think that's absolutely fair. But it's just not the case in something like The Acolyte. So, I don't know. Or Obi-Wan. Like, we're trying to remember. Was there any like overt woke politics in Obi-Wan? Like, can't Reva just be a bad character? Does Reva have to be like does the actress being a woman and being black have to, like, does that have to be anything about anything? I don't know.
Who cares? Just let them do it. This feels like this is where everything is leading anyway, with Dave Filoni porting as many characters from that and Rebels as he can into live action. No, dude, this guy should not be writing about Star Wars. I don't know who gave him looking at Disney, they give anybody keys nowadays who write Star Wars, except...
Wait, does he think that Disney owns Forbes? What is he talking about? He's like schizophrenic.
For actual fans, it seems, and actual competent, intelligent, creative people. But hey, you keep writing for Forbes, pal. Subscribe, less than $1.50 a week. Wow, what a bargain. What a deal. Really, I want to read this shit. That's especially true because Disney seems to be allergic to truly original ideas outside the Skywalker era. And well, Anakin Skywalker...
I gotta say, man, like, I've been watching these Star Wars explained videos where it's like people are like going after Star Wars theory, saying that he's like toxic or whatever, and it's like, listen, I had not seen videos where this guy is like an explicit asshole. He's being kind of an explicit asshole here. Like, this is like this is just mean. This is being mean for no reason. I feel like. I mean, okay, to be fair, maybe this Paul Tassi guy has said, like, really mean stuff to him in the past. And if that's the case, then, like, hey, fair enough, I guess. But just watching this video, Star Wars Theory is being an asshole. When this specific article isn't saying anything, it hasn't even brought Star Wars Theory up.
Is more Skywalker. Are they really allergic, though? I mean, you got Rogue One, you got The Acolyte, which was your personal favorite, right? You got the sequel trilogy, which really, let's be honest here.
Rogue One literally ties directly into the Skywalker trilogy, and it features a Darth Vader cameo.
Doesn't really have much to do with the Skywalker timeline at all. I mean, it's more so about Rey and Finn and Poe, and I mean, you don't got Han Solo.
What are you talking about? What? It absolutely has to do with the Skywalker timeline. Like, Luke and Leia are in those movies. Han is, and in the first one. But Kylo Ren is a Skywalker as well. Like, what are you talking about?
Solo, he dies in the first one. Leia's non-existent, unfortunately, and Luke Skywalker is literally not even Luke Skywalker. So anyone wants to argue that the sequel trilogy is about the Skywalkers, it really is not. Unless at the end you want to magically make Rey Skywalker, which yes, I guess they did.
No, fucking Kylo Ren is a Skywalker. What the fuck are you talking about?
Technically speaking, it could be, but they just interjecting somehow Palpatine returned. I guess makes it work. I would argue that they aren't doing enough Skywalker stuff. When was the last time we really saw Luke? It was in the little bits of the Boba Fett show. That was about it. We saw him for a few seconds at the end of the Mandalorian season 2, which was great, phenomenal. But besides that, what Skywalker stuff are we getting? The ghost of Anakin showing up for 2 seconds at the end of the Ahsoka show. There isn't really much Skywalker stuff at all. So I can understand that you have some.
What do you mean the ghost showing up at the end of the Ahsoka show? Doesn't he just show up at the? There's like an entire episode with him in it. What do you mean?
Some sort of hatred for the Skywalker era. So at least what I'm getting from your cadence here, from your writing for Forbes. But I just don't think that you're on point, man. I don't think that you really know what you're talking about. And I just
also,
for the Skywalker
hold on,
era.
so
at least what I'm getting.
What does this say exactly? That's especially true because Disney seems allergic to truly original ideas outside the Skywalker era. I mean, even in like the ones that don't explicitly include the Skywalkers, like you mentioned Rogue One, like that is in the Skywalker era. Like it has to do with, like it's very closely tied, like that and Andor are very closely tied to the original trilogy and the Rebels and the Empire and whatever. Like those are ideas that come from the Skywalker era. So I don't like. And like all of the shows in the Filoni verse are also very like closely tied to that era. So, I mean, this is just true.
Your cadence here from your writing for Forbes, but I just don't think that you're on point, man. I don't think that you really know what you're talking about, and I just think that you're coming from a weird place. I don't think it's genuine. They wouldn't have to relive the entire
safety on our streets and justice.
Vote for whoever you want. I don't care.
to a final season in 2020 and spanned close to one. And I just think that you're coming from a weird place. I don't think it's genuine. They wouldn't have to relive the entire series, which ran from 2008 to a final season in 2020 and spanned close to 1 from 50 episodes, but there are certainly a number of hugely memorable arcs in there that could be adapted for TV. And there's this reason Star Wars fans love this show, because it's good. And one aspect of that is because it presented a more dimensional version of Anakin that we never got to see in the films, and it's good. We have already seen this once in live action briefly, with Clone Wars era Hayden Anakin appearing to Ahsoka, who was rendered in Clone Wars era age. I'm sorry, I'm being catty. If people just stop coming after me, man, you won't be catching hands like this. So listen, brother on yourself. And that leads to the idea that yes, all of these pieces are already in place. Are Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen older than they're supposed to be for a show like this? Yes. Who cares? We can get over that. And we know those two would be on board. Yeah, it's called deepfake, man. It's called de-aging. It's not too hard to do. They're not ancient. Still there. They still look fine. Past that, you already have the co-star of the series, young Ahsoka, who could clearly still be played by the talented Ariana Greenblatt, who played her in that one episode. She's 17 now, around the perfect age for the part. You also have Tamora Morrison around to play Rex and the other clones, as they're definitely not having him do another season of Boba Fett, which he seems sad about, but this would be a killer role for him. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen my video on the supposed original script for the Kenobi show, go check it out. Go give it a watch. Pretty freaking awesome, dude. Cody was supposed to watch over Luke, and Obi-Wan was going to go off and do what he needed to do. Amazing. Way better script. Way better script than Deborah Chow, Joby Harold nonsense. Again, it seems beyond easy to lay the pieces for this. The question for Disney would be budget. They act like 180 million. I don't think we'll have a problem with the Clone Wars, which will actually get views, as they are allergic to figuring out how to do shows like this for anything less than 150 million a season, it seems. But Ewan and Hayden back with a young Ahsoka. Actually, that's not even true, Paul Tassi. Freaking Kenobi show was what, $90 million? It was an entire show about Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, Hayden Christensen was in there in flashbacks. 90 million? 80 million? Then they act like it's 180 million. The math ain't mathin'. But Ewan and Hayden back with a young...
Well, the problem with Star Wars is that you kind of can't do it for a smaller budget. It's just the nature of what Star Wars is. Like, you have to build sets and you have to do a whole bunch of stuff, and it's like I guess you technically can do Kenobi. But then you're just standing around the volume for the whole time, and that sucks ass. So, I mean, in my opinion, I do think that, like, at the end of the day, I don't think you really should do a Star Wars show on the cheap, because then it's not going to feel like Star Wars. And so, unfortunately, you kind of have to make it good in that case.
young Ahsoka recreating some of the most beloved arcs in Star Wars history, that would be huge. Just let them do it. Yeah, look, we agree on this one thing for once, finally. It would be huge. It would be amazing. And this is something I said, and I caught major flack for it back when this episode actually came out. I'm like, this is something we should see. And herein lies the conversation I had with Hayden, one part of it, where I was like, no, you know.
Okay, so why are you so mad at the Paul Tassi guy? Like, he didn't even like mention you in this article. Like, what are you talking about? And then it's so interesting because he's like bringing up, it's like, other people called me dumb when I brought this up, and it's like, did Paul Tassi call you dumb? Unless he did, then why are you bringing up those other people? It's like, what are we talking about? I don't know.
You know, they just need to make a whole Clone Wars with you. He was like, yeah, no, that'll be pretty great, eh? I'm like, yeah, it'll be awesome. I hope they actually do it. Yeah, me too. That's so cool. Anyways, yeah, look, if they want to remake this, man, the amount of views that would be on that freaking show would be insane. And if anyone cares about views, it's obviously Disney, because that's why they're in business. They get big views for the shows and products that they create. It's not rocket science, right? Put X amount of money and time into something, hopefully it yields you a return, and their return is views, viewership, subscriptions, money. It's kind of easy in that sense. So yeah, I mean, I think that this would be a major home run for them, and I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see this. Will they do it? Probably not. They're just going to focus on like more trash stuff like the Acolyte, or essentially just giving random projects. I don't know what this guy's talking about. They're focusing on Skywalkers. They're focusing on like stuff that has nothing to do with them, like outside of that stuff. Right? So they're probably just going to do some other show, like the Skeleton Crew, for example, which I'm actually excited for. I'm looking forward to the Skeleton Crew. I saw the trailer. I actually gave it a really high praise, and I'm actually looking forward to watching this, especially with you guys. I think it's gonna be a really fun show. I'm not expecting too much from it. I think it's gonna be cute and adventurous, and I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be a good time. You know, something positive, something fun. We'll see. You never know. As long as Star Wars is in good hands, as long as they remember who created it. If they're telling themselves, you know, what would these characters do? How would they gotta do the AI in their brain? How would George Lucas write this? If he were watching me write this right now, would he be like, yeah, that works, or would he be like, what the, you know? Anyways, it's really up to who they hire.
I mean, I don't know. Like, the thing is that obviously the prequels have their fans, and so there's just a division, right? Like, I'm somebody that thinks that the prequels were kind of dog shit. And I don't think that you necessarily have to have the thought process of what would George Lucas do, as much as how can we make like, based on just the Civil War and the schism that's going on in the Star Wars fan base. It's more so like, how can we make content that is like in line and thematically in line with what George Lucas fans would want, while elevating what, like, the writing and stuff from the prequels? Because obviously we shouldn't be getting like shows that have prequel level dialogue. You know, like, we need better than that in 2024. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, it is like, I wouldn't ever want to make a fucking Star Wars show, because Jesus Christ. But yeah, I mean, like, whoever's making a new Star Wars project, I think you have to just be thinking about, like, how can I please, like, prequel era fans? How can I please George Lucas fans while also elevating that material and making just a genuinely good show for the rest of the general audience? Which obviously, like, you can do. I'm not saying it's impossible, right? Andor, look at that. But yeah.
Who they put in charge. And they can't just put anyone in charge. And I think they're starting to learn that. At least you would hope. Thanks so much for watching this video. TheorySabers.com. We've got the best sabers out there.
Okay, so that was a bad video from Star Wars Theory. It's just him, like, weirdly lashing out for no real reason. But now let's go to Twitter. This is gonna be fun. All right, so I think it originated with Paul Tassi. This is the guy who wrote the article. He has to say here, you use incognito mode for porn. I use it to check on channels that make videos about me that I do not want in my algorithm. Then says, that is admittedly a kind of funny video title. Less funny are people putting whiny aggressive comments on family photos on my Instagram every time this happens. So that's, don't do that. Listen, okay? Listen. If you are ever at the point, I would argue, if you're ever at the point where you're, like, going to somebody's social media page, like, because, I don't know, your favorite YouTuber made a video complaining about them. If you're ever at the point where after that point, you're going to that person's social media page to, like, leave them a comment about it, you've gone too far. In my opinion. It's just not worth doing that. But if you're then at the point where you're going to their family's social media pages and you're, like, harassing their family members, at that point, you're just completely over the line. At that point, you just need to reevaluate your entire life, and you need to analyze what got you there. So there are just a couple other things where somebody said, "I'm sorry, but this feels like something a toxic teenage girl would do. You don't want them on your algorithm. You have them blocked, but yeah, you're still actively seeking them out. Come on now." Then he says, "I don't have them blocked, question mark. I don't know. To me, that's similar. Just think it's weird going into incognito to see something you don't want to see to begin with. I mean, that's not weird at all. Like, if somebody made a video about you and you want to watch it, but you don't want their content in your algorithm, I mean, this is completely reasonable. I don't know what you're talking about. Sucks being on the receiving end for a change, doesn't it? LOL, this happens like 3 times a week. Okay, whatever. Who cares? And then Star Wars Theory then responded to this. Don't cry, Paul. The countless unprovoked jabs and full-on articles you've written about me are why we're here. Don't come after me, then cry about it when I respond. Incognito or not, I'm rent-free in your head, you weak man. And then he put the clown emoji. Holy shit, he fucking owned him. Fucking destroyed. So, like, the thing is that if he has had, like, unprovoked jabs at you and he has said mean stuff about you, I don't think that Star Wars Theory provided any receipts in the video that make me that really amount to that, in my opinion. But you respond to those things. Like, your response to this article in specific just makes you look unhinged. Like, you have to actually respond to the jabs. You don't respond to, like, some other thing that is totally reasonable. You know what I mean? Okay, then whatever. Paul Tassi says, hold on. We're getting to the bottom of all of this. Oh, then Star Wars Theory responded under the video as well. Get your bag, bro. Glad to be able to pay your rent. See you in the next one. And then Paul Tassi said, you just made a monetized video with 300k views reading my article out loud with no link. How is this not me making you money? I mean, that's true. Like, again, I don't know, like in the Star Wars explained videos, like Star Wars Theory was sitting on his high horse being like, I don't care about the money or the clout or the yada yada yada. But now when he's beefing with Paul Tassi, he's like fucking, remember Rice Gum back in the day being like, I got so much clout and money and you're broke. And it's like, okay, bro, I mean, it's, you're just not consistent with the, like, you know, the fucking moral character that you portrayed yourself to have. Let's see. Then he said, bro wants his money. I don't have to link garbage writers. Sure. But again, he's just saying that if anybody's, like, making a ton of money off of this, and if anybody's doing this for the money, it's you, which is true. I mean, that is true. Like, you brought up the money thing. Do you link my videos when you spread lies? That's like, no, but he's not making the claim that we're, like, doing this for money or whatever. You're the one making it. That last video was the intro to you. The next one is about your article on Forbes agreeing with the deplatforming of me and others and spreading full-on lies. Oh, we're getting a sequel! Hell yeah, okay. You're a trash journalist, quote-unquote journalist, and you will be exposed. You couldn't just leave me alone. Had to write a full-on article in Forbes about me being the most toxic YouTuber. You even lie, and I catch you on it. All we'll see. Journalists like you are the problem today. I mean, it would have been nice for you to, like, show some receipts in the first video you made, but I guess if he's making a second video, then sure. Now I will respond. He's like going on his Joker arc. This is just the start of me responding to all of you for the abuse you've thrown at me for 8 long years of my silence. Funny thing is, I don't have to lie like you. I just have to hold the mirror up to your face so the world sees the truth. Enjoy. All right, so he's owning them in the battlefield of ideas. You're all cooked. Oh my gosh, he's pulling out the Gen Z slang. They don't stand a chance. I have a long list and receipts with everyone. Sleep well. Well, now I'm scared. Does he have a list on me? Probably not. I don't think I've said anything crazy about Star Wars Theory. I am scared though that he's gonna come after me now. I feel like I'm gonna I'm just gonna turn around one day and I'm gonna see Star Wars Theory there. So in a nutshell, he insults you, wants to bury your opinions in speech and in your platform. So lacking in self-awareness, he then gets upset that you're not giving him credit. Is that about right? Yep. He's not upset. He's just responding to the claim that Paul Tassi is doing this for the money, even though Star Wars Theory is also doing this for the money. Anytime somebody is like, you're just doing this for money and clout, it's like, yeah, no shit. That's what YouTube and content creation is. What the fuck are you talking about? We're all doing this for the money. I mean, I'm not getting paid yet, but the whole yes, do I enjoy making content? Yeah, I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it, but yeah, I also want to get to the point that I'm making money and that maybe I'm able to make a career off of this. That's always the dumbest criticism, to be fair. Okay, is there anything more? I don't know. Okay, there is more. I was just in a police station filing a report about a guy texting me threats citing your last video directly. I would not continue down this road. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. And how many death threats sent towards me from your slanderous articles should I take to the police? Grow up, Paul. Well, I don't condone that language. You know damn well no one has control over the actions of others. If you like, we can go to court over all of your slander to my brand. I'd be happy to. Enjoy the next video. And then, hey, Paul Tassi, show me proof of evidence citing your claims. This person texting you what I guess he meant to say was sent from me. Also provide proof they are real. I don't trust you. You're as disingenuous as your articles. Oh my gosh, about the Star Wars fandom and me in particular. You will be held liable for your claims. Bro, this is so crazy. First of all, I don't think that nobody's getting sued over any of this. I don't think anybody can actually get sued over any of this. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think that would really go anywhere. The only thing that reason why I would maybe think that Star Wars Theory might want to sue him is just because he wants to because he would want to destroy him economically, which would be pretty extreme, to be fair. But I don't know that there's any actual defamation or anything. But maybe, I don't know. Anyways, Paul Tassi says that is a real phone number traceable to a specific area. It turns up a name that is associated with a Twitter account that is going after people like Molly. That named person has a criminal record in the city where that area code is from, which is why I went to the police. Then it says, you are a F-word, just letting you know. F-word. How did you get this number? Go steal more of Star Wars Theory's poopy, you effing F-word. I'm coming for ya. So, this is what I will say. Is Star Wars Theory at the end of the day responsible for this guy sending this this shady message? No, obviously that guy is his own person. But would I argue that Star Wars Theory's response to this article was way more extreme than it needed to be, and by doing so, is it gonna rile up his fan base to be hostile towards Paul Tassi? It's absolutely. And it's yeah, you probably shouldn't be acting that unhinged in your videos, especially when it's not called for. Not because it makes you responsible, but just as you're not responsible for this guy doing it, but you probably should act more responsibly in your videos. That's what I would make that argument personally. But yeah, but again, I don't necessarily blame, I don't blame Star Wars Theory for doing it, but when he's saying, when he's saying stuff you couldn't just leave me alone, had to write a full-on article in Forbes about me being the most toxic YouTuber, and it's the fact that you acting unhinged in your response to the article, you're not exactly beating the toxic YouTuber allegations. Anyways. Let's see. Is there more here? Here you go. Shall I blame others for this now too? Is that how this works? And then what was it? Oh, so there was like a post here, but I think it got deleted. So I guess it was somebody doing something cringe about Star Wars Theory. What did this guy say? 1. Shill talks shit about creator. 2. Shill gets paid for shit talk. 3. Creator responds and reads said shit talk. So there were 2 twos. Sorry, 3. Creator gets paid for reading shit talk. 4. Shill cries about it. 5. Creator wins. Again, nobody is complaining about this except for Star Wars Theory. Like he's the one that brought up money, even though he supposedly doesn't care about it. Let's see. This is admittedly a kind of funny video title. Less funny are people putting whiny, aggressive comments on family photos on my Instagram every time this happens. And then Molly says, "You too, huh?" And it's like I do kind of agree that like this Molly person. It's like you were cringe when you tried to get people demonetized. So it's like you should just like not get involved in any of this. Probably. And then what is... Then he says, harassment of family is not okay. Harassment of anyone is not okay. Like the harassment these people have sent way of everyone who don't like the shows they like. And when that fails to sway the public against them, they hope to kill. Oh my god. Wait. Does he mean that literally or just like... Oh, like they want to like kill their YouTube channels? I don't know if he means literally or not. They hope to kill and pull the plug on us. Push to deplatform and destroy our livelihood. Your karma, what you sent my way and the way of so many others for years, is up to you. When my mother has to read these tweets about how they want to behead her son or have him die or get shot in a fake meetup, Jesus, or have his partner ard and killed are all from what? Your constant vitriol sent my way to purport your lies and narrative because of money, views, things you cherish and wish for at the behest of ending those who receive it because you deem them undeserving. I mean, listen, you can't have the perspective that people aren't responsible for their fans' actions and then say that they caused these people to send death threats and whatever to your family. Harassment is never acceptable, but I guess for you guys it's only okay when you send it to the community. I don't... You can't have the perspective that you aren't sending like people to harass people, but then accuse these guys of sending harassment to you. Because he's not even calling out a double standard here. He's literally saying when you send it to the community. Trash people, I will get the truth about you, or I will tell the truth about you. Don't engage with them. I will handle it both legally and on YouTube from here. I don't even know. Like, I don't know. So anyways, I personally think that Star Wars Theory is being a little cringe here, you know. I think him reading that article, he was being a tad a bit unhinged. Now, again, maybe the Paul Tassi guy has like said some really extreme nasty stuff about him in the past. I mean, that's possible, but he didn't show it in the video, so as somebody jumping into this situation, he just looks unhinged. So I guess he says he's making more videos. I will be watching them, okay? I'm here for the clout, okay? I am here for the clout, okay? I'm going to suck up all the clout I can off of this situation. So we'll see. Maybe he has more compelling like blogs and stuff to show. We'll see. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.